welcome back to my channel, and this is time for another build kit review. Like I'm being lazy and still didn't paint my 53 F100, I'm here wondering what can I do to upload. Well, let's show another older build. If the guys get bored, they just can, well, not watch the movie. Anyways, this time I'm going with a 36 Ford. This kit is rather old. It's not the new release, and I didn't get the new release until a few months ago, because basically they were asking a price here that I would have to get a mortgage and I would have to refinance my car to buy a kit. Yeah, almost serious. Kits here are getting expensive, and those new releases are going up to 140 reais. Well, get your go working and convert 140 reais into dollars, and you'll see what we modelers here in Brazil have to deal with. And no, that's not taxes. That's greed on the guys that import models. So, when I want a new kit, a new release kit, I just go to eBay and buy it there. It will arrive here for $25 in average, plus another $25 shipping. And you have to remember it's international shipping because I'm in Brazil. Even though paying extra for the shipping, it's still a lot cheaper than the guys at hobby shops or the guys at online hobby shops steal us for those models. So no thanks. Anyway, this old Ford here I got very cheap here in Brazil on our own eBay. The guy had it for a long time and sold me for a very decent price. That was I was willing to pay. The kit was opened but was complete, and I always liked the box art on those kits, those old AMTs. I remember when I was about 12 or 13 years old, I built one of those, and I painted it metallic gray from a spray can, and brush painted the seats, and it was not a very nice result, I have to say. So that car is long gone because I traded the build model with a friend of mine on a kit that, by the life of me, I can't remember what it was. I think I'm getting old. So let's review the kit that was inside this box, and I finished building it last year. Here she is. So this is a fully stock 1936 Ford Roadster. I built this as a replica of a movie car. I don't know how many of you will remember the movie Maxi from the 80s. But I really loved that movie. It had a great soundtrack, and well, the star of the movie was a yellow 1936 Ford. I had to build a replica of that car because I always was fascinated by the movie. So this old AMT here, let's see if it will focus better. This old AMT here was built almost completely box stock. The color, it's original from Ford Motor Company. On some literatures it's called demonstrator yellow. In other literatures it's just called cream. But I managed to get the correct formula to have it mixed, and the color went out pretty nice. The kit itself only has very few additions, and those additions are mostly on the engine compartment, as I added some extra detail on there. The interior is completely stock. The underside is completely stock, and the old flathead is completely stock. The only kit part I used that's not from this kit is the mirror that I stole from a kit on my stash that I can't remember what it was. Damn, I'm getting really old, since it's about a year I built this. But this little emblem here, the hound, I got it from the same 34 Ford kit. I got the wheels and tires to my 32 Ford. So this little doggy here is not part of the 36 Ford kit. It's part of the AMT 34 Ford Coupe. So if you want one, you know where you can find it. This one I replicated the part of the kit and painted with Model Master Chrome to look more realistic, and glued here. So the original kit part is still in the kit. I did a little mold with that blue silicone I got from a friend, some, and was able to replicate this part here, this little doggy. Other than that, and the mirror and the engine detail I'm gonna show you later, the model is box stock. The color, like I said, is factory correct and factory stock for a 36 Ford. And those cars can get a really hard to build. The hard part about this AMT 36 Ford is line up this front end. I discovered building those cars, because this ain't my first rodeo, that if you glue this part, that is the grill support, on the fenders before you paint the car, you will actually discover it's a lot easier to line the hood and the side panels if this is glued before painting. Because if you decide to glue this support here that's beneath the grill before painting, it's going to be a mess. Showing the engine, you'll understand what I'm talking about. Let's wait this beautiful camera to focus. Yes. Oops. Come back. Here we have flathead engine with spark plugs and with the original spark plug conductors. You can also see the two radiator rods that support the radiator and keep it in place. I scratch built this and this little rod here, along with the rods that contain the spark plug wires and lead them to the front distributor out of styrene from the kit parts tree that I just heated with a flame and pulled until it was the right diameter. So the engine has this extra detail. I don't know if you'll be able to see, but the radiator support has been glued to the front fender before painting, and I assembled the entire body, and with the side panels and with the hood, to see the exact amount of work sanding or that would need to be sanded off or added to the side panels and to the hood to have a decent fit. The fit is still not perfect, and I will admit this is the weak point of the AMT 36 Fords, but it is what it is. Another little modification I did was to shorten the doors. Both front doors were shortened. They would come until about here. As the lower section of the body was the same of the 3-window coupe, and the 3-window coupe has a larger door than the Roadster. The Roadster has the same length door as the 5-window coupe. So I just had to take a look at my 5-window coupe that I had already built in the same color and measured the length of the door, marked here and marked on the other side, closed the original gap with super glue and talcum powder. Yeah, kids talcum mixed to super glue to make a very strong putty that wouldn't shrink after it's dry. So I filled the original door line with that homemade putty and sanded everything smooth and rescribed the door lines on the appropriate length for a Roadster. What was not hard at all. It was a little hard to get it right here on the sides. This side is not 100% perfect, but this side got a lot better. Well, I guess one side being better than the other is what you would expect from something built by hand. And those models are built by hand. Here you have your opening rear seat. Here in Brazil, these seats are called Banco da Sogra, what means literally the mother-in-law seat. Yeah, not Rumble seat, mother-in-law seat. So you and your wife would ride here, and your mother-in-law would ride here, especially with the up top, so you wouldn't have to hear to what you had to say, which is kind of ideal. Sorry, mother-in-laws. Well, let's put the hood back. The hood goes in quite nicely. Voila, it's in place. Here is the underside of the Ford, just like Henry Ford made it. The underside of the fenders were painted the same color. The underside of the running boards is black, and here's the rear end. I added a little extension to the exhaust, and I should have added some extension between the end of the frame rail and the actual bumper support, but I didn't care doing that. Really didn't. The underside was all painted black, flat black. The exhaust is molded in, so it was painted with testers steel and testers aluminum, brush painted, as were the exhaust manifolds. Some parts are missing here, but this is a kit characteristics. What is missing is the crossover pipe that would go under the oil pan, and the connection between the actual exhaust pipe and the exhaust manifold. I also didn't bother getting an extra mile to add those details. I'm just not the kind of guy that likes to, oh, let's fix it. This is not me. I like to build what is inside the box and add little details when I am in the mood. This is a hobby that is supposed to be fun, and if I feel obligated to do things, it's kind of not fun anymore. One thing you have to pay attention when building a 36 Ford is to carefully blending the cowl that comes with the upper part of the doors, blending the cowl to the actual doors and to the rear side panel, because the real actual cars didn't have a joint here. Let's see if this side will focus better. Don't you just love old cameras? There it is. and you have to try to round this trim that's stamped on the sheet metal on the real car. You have to try to make it the most round you can, because the kit's parts will make it look square, and it's not square on a real car. So the advice I have is to always look at a real car to see what needs to be done and what doesn't. All in all, the kit is great. I like it. It's old, yeah, it is old, but it's quite nice and built into a quite nice model if you take your time. You don't need to go crazy and add extra detail like Bath out of hell. You don't need to go to the store and buy a lot of aftermarket. Just be creative with what you have. Use the plastic trees to make rods. Get mirrors from other kits you're not going to use. Get parts from other kits, and if you're going to use them, try to replicate them to make copies. If you can't make a copy because you never tried, I give you an advice to try. It's not that hard. And even if you're going to really want to use that part, like I really wanted to use this little dog here because I think it's so cool and so nice, that yeah, I would have used the original kit part if my trying at casting hadn't worked. I always can get another 34 Ford kit, and I'll have to do it anyway because there are not wheels anymore. Yeah, I have to tell you, when I make the replica of that dog, I hadn't rubbed the wheels yet. If I knew I was going to use the wheels from that kit on my 32 Ford, I would have saved a lot of pain. Here is the dash. This car has a radio delete. The dash on a 36 Ford can be metallic gray and can be wood grain painted. Most wood grain was used on convertibles, and this one is not the convertible. This is the Roadster. What's the difference between the Roadster and the convertible? Well, the most obvious of them is that the Roadster has no roll-up windows, and the convertible has roll-up windows. And the sheet metal here on the door is a little different. Here too is a little different. And the entire car is prepared to be sealed up by the roll-up doors, roll-up window doors. The interior tub on those cars, even though they look good, the door panel here is still a lot smaller than the actual size of the outer door, and it's too small. If you wanted to build it 100% correct, you would have to change that and enlarge the door panel to make it at least the same length of the outer door. like I wasn't on the mood to do that, I just left it alone. Very few people will notice. Well, guys, I'll hope to have some kind of video of my 53 Ford truck to show you soon, if I can stop being lazy and paint that damn thing. And stay tuned, because if I don't paint that truck, you can be 100% sure I will be posting another build model review. I hope you have liked this little 36 Ford Roadster, and for me, building those little Fords is a work of love, as I love the blue oval. I'm a die-hard Ford guy. And please feel free to comment if you are watching the video right now. I want to hear your opinion. Tell me what you think about the build, and what about I did right, what about I did wrong. And subscribe if you will. And have a great Sunday. Thanks very much, guys, for watching again, and please take care.